Hey yo, what up, everybody? Big commish here for playing for keeps. Week number 9 in the reps. A lot of crazy shit going on in the league. Finally got to squeeze this in, by the way. Man, almost got to the end of the day, but I found an extra 15 minutes to squeeze this in before I leave for today. So here it is, here it is, here it is. I know Isaac will cry. We have to have our videos, commish. Well, here's your fucking video, you fucking prick. I hope you lose again, okay? So going into last week, let's take a look at these matchups here. The playoff picture really starting to pan out and really starting to see who's going to make it, but still pretty close. It seems like every year there's not a very defined picture. There's like 2, maybe 3 people at the top, and then the rest, everybody's still alive until the last couple of weeks. All right, so we got Black Tommy versus Sergio. BT's been on a roll, 7-1 going into this. Sergio really needed this win to kind of have a chance at playoffs. He still probably has a chance, but he may be the first one eliminated if he drops another loss or two. So going in this game, we had Jimmy Graham finally showed up for Sergio. Gave him a big 23. I think that was Monday night. And big 23, 10 from Devontae Adams, 15 from Matt Forte, who's really picked it up lately, 11 from Rams D. Man, he picked the wrong quarterback, though. He played Derek Carr against Denver. Derek Carr actually did decently well against that tough secondary, but they ran it fucking from the 1-yard line 3 times and went to Latavius Murray, so he got no touchdowns. Good for 7. Russell Wilson finally came back, put 26 points on his bench, and actually would have won him this game if he would have had Russell Wilson in, so that's a hurter. Can't blame him for it. Russell hadn't scored a touchdown in 3 games, but that definitely hurts. Tommy's team coming through again for him, putting up 105, 25 from Drew Brees, who's against San Francisco. We knew he was going to have a big game. 21 from Ezekiel Elliott, Mr. Consistent. 13 from DeMarco Murray, 12 from the Panthers, and 12 from Josh Lambo. So pretty good week for him. That full moves to 8-1. He looking like he's going to get a first-round bye. Unless some dudes really pick it up and he starts losing out almost every other game, Tommy's probably going to get that first round bye. So that's got to feel nice. Then we had Tao versus Jordan. Jordan's team's cooled off. Felt like it started a little strong, but it's kind of starting to cool off as of lately. He went with the 1-2 punch of Jerick McKinnon and Devontae Booker, only netted him 2 points. Eli Manning, who somehow I traded to Isaac, and I guess he went on waivers, and then Jordan picked him up. Great drop, Isaac. Got him 22 points. He got 18 from Julio, and then 11 from Will Lutz. The rest of his team crapped it up. Good for 70, not good for the win. Tao beat him with his own players, Todd Gurley, and I guess that's it. 23 from Des Prescott, 14 from Antonio Brown, and then the big 31 from Latavius Murray to put this thing away for Isaac. Isaac gets 97, moves to 4-5. Jordan's at 3-6. Big KL versus James. This is a long time friend battle. I feel like James didn't talk any shit, and the fantasy gods struck him down for that. Kevin was talking mad shit. Was he up though when he was talking shit? He might have been. So it might have been fake after he was already winning. Nonetheless, Kevin's team finally showed the fuck up, and that was with a goose egg from Marvin Jones. 117. He tripled his last 3 weeks in 1 week. No, I'm just kidding, but he probably almost did. 25 from Aaron Rodgers, Frank Gore 19, Jay Ajayi 19, Allen Robinson 13, Austin Hooper 10, Terrell Pryor 10, Chiefs D 14. I mean, his whole team went off. Marvin Jones, I know it was Minnesota, but this dude had 1 catch, I think, for like 5 yards. Man, he started really strong, but really starting to look like a bust now. For James, good God, 2 goose eggs. Broncos D goose egg, Derrick Henry. This is really weird. Dude got injured before the game started, but no one said shit until after the game was already in. Had 0 carries, left the game and was questionable with 0 carries. So you're like, what the hell happened? Well, I found out later that he hurt himself in pre-warm-ups. Didn't get out apparently to the mainstream media because nobody knew, and James decided to start him. He did get 19 from Phillip Rivers in place of Tom Brady, 11 from Greg Olsen. Rest of the team did shit. 47, not going to get it done. Lowest score of the week. Against the highest score of the week, I think. Was it the highest score? Yeah, I think it was the highest score. No, Stevie had the highest score. Second highest score, though. All right, moving on. Coup Whip against Aaron, Mr. Cesar. We both really needed this win. We were both at 3-5 going into this. Aaron's team kind of crapped it up. He had a nice 28 from Matt Ryan on Thursday night. That would be about half his points for the week. He got 12 from Tyrell Williams. Really, the rest of his team just didn't even 5 or less points. The rest of his team put up 72 points. My team didn't fare too well, but my receivers came through for me finally, and Jameis Winston on Thursday night for 21. I got Odell Beckham with the two touchdowns. He has now 5 in the last 4 games, I think, for 16 points. Jordy Nelson for 15. Cowboys D spot start for 10. So yeah, it did all right. My running backs are a little weird, but I have some coming off a bye. I had a lot of bye week stuff last week. 4 people on bye, so get the win at 84-72. I moved to 4-5. He's at 3-6. And then you have White Tommy against the Gronkinator. And Isaac, I don't know if y'all noticed, but Isaac's been tweeting. He's been chirping his little beak a little too much, and I see you, Isaac, looking at this. You've been a little too aggressive. That's not the Isaac that I know. The Isaac I know is the kind of I won, kind of the dumb. You don't know what's going on. You won. You fell into the win. Now you're getting a little too cocky, all right, and it's starting to catch up with you. Okay, you got the loss here, 83 points. Andrew Luck for 12, Michael Thomas for 19, Dante McCree for 11. He's finally back. You had a lot of dudes on bye and hurt. But 83, not going to get it done against White Tommy, who spot started Colin Kaepernick. Good spot. He almost threw for 400 fucking yards. I don't think you ever play him again, but maybe. But that was a good spot start with your guy on bye, Kirk Cousins. 11 from LaShawn McCoy, 17 from DeJuan Harris. Oh, you start the entire San Francisco team. Good for 93 points and good for the win. Tommy 7-2 and knocking on that bye week door as well. Then the last one was Stevie versus Louie. Good Lord. Is Stevie's team like magical? This dude, Kevin had it right. You score this much, way down at 40, he scores 42. You score 115, he scores 120. It doesn't matter. His team matches what you do plus a little bit. Every fucking week. Louie puts up a respectable 97. He got a huge game from Mark Ingram, who was ripping him off all day. 30 points, 14 from Cam, 11 from Cole Beasley, 13 from Antonio Gates, 16 from his kicker, 97. Usually probably a good win, but not Stevie. His team knew. 28 from Mike Evans, 21 from Blake Bortles, and a whopping 32 fucking big ones from Melvin Gordon, who is now the number 1 fantasy running back scoring wise through the first 9 weeks, which is crazy. Dude had 0 touchdowns last year. He has 11 touchdowns already this year. Fucking crazy. I think he has the second most rushing yards as well. I want to say either the second or third most rushing yards in the league, but he's the number 1 fantasy running back in standard leagues right now. Fucking crazy. So Stevie gets it, goes to 7-2. Louis to 4-5. So let's look at the standings real quick, and then I already wrote, to make this video a little bit shorter, I already wrote who I think was going to win or lose. I'll wrap those off for you guys, and then we'll call it a night. Then we got the Ravens and Browns. Exciting game that's happening tonight. Okay, so who do we got on the standings? We got Black Tommy at 8-1, just crushing it in points in first place. We've got Tommy right behind him in points and right behind him in record at 7-2. Then you got Stevie, who has literally scored the 3rd most points in the league at 7-2, but he's at 7-2, right? Then you got 1, 5, and 4, James, and then you have a multitude of 4 and 5ers. You got Isaac, Louis, myself, and Tal in that order. And then you've got some 3 and 6ers. We've got Jordan, Kevin, and Cesar. And then lastly, you've got Sergio. And let me just throw something out at Sergio. He has the second most points scored on his team. He has 833 points scored. His team has scored 833, which is good for 5th place. Cesar has a better record than him with almost 200 less points scored. Okay, so Sergio, I feel your pain. Shout out to you, bro. That's just the way it rolls sometimes in the league. Hopefully you get a win this upcoming week, but we'll see how it plays out. All right, so looking over the schedules for next week, it is Corey versus Jordan. I got Jordan's number this year, it seems like. I've been beating him in most leagues. Maybe it's just one league, but I've already beat him. I looked at it. He's got some good matchups. It's going to be a close one. I don't feel great about that matchup. I'm going to give myself the slight nudge, but I think it could go either way. So probably a push right now is what it looks like. Sergio over Isaac. I'm going to give this to Sergio. Isaac, you've been talking too much. Your team not looking good this week. I think Sergio's due for a win. His team's been putting up points. He just hasn't been winning. I think it's Sergio. Kevin versus White Tommy. Although White Tommy has a great team, he has some tough matchups this week. Kevin's team's really starting to come on. I'm going to give it to Kevin to take it over White Tommy, which would be a really big win for his team against a tough opponent. Stevie and Tal Mitch, I know you tell me that I've never picked your team. I don't know if I have. I think I have once or twice. Today is not the day, though, bro. I think Stevie steamrolls you. I'm sorry, man. I looked at the matchups. I looked at the teams. I think Stevie's got it. Then you got James over Louis. Louis' team's cooled off. It's been on ice, and it doesn't heat up this week. I think James gets this dude. And then lastly, you got Black Tommy versus Cesar. If you look at the points scored, it's the best team versus the worst team, and I'm not picking the worst team to beat the best team. Tommy beats Cesar, and yeah, there you have it. All right, guys, we're cutting this one a little bit short. Have fun tonight, and I will see y'all next time. Kamish out.